गणनान्त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्यवत् ॐ गणेशाय नमः ॐ सरस्वत्यै नमः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः ॐ शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये वागीशाद्य सुमनसः सर्वार्थानामुपक्रमे यं नत्वा कृतकृत्या स्युः तं नमामि गजाननं वक्रतुंड महाकाय कोटिसूर्य समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 ओम शन्नो मित्रशं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इंद्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ओम शांति शांति शांतिः ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इंद्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ओम शांति शांति शांतिः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि नमोस्तुते व्यास विशाल बुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्रः येन त्वया भारत तैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमय प्रदीपः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं यस्य सन्निधि मात्रेण सर्वे शिष्याश्च सेवकाः कर्मक्षेत्रे प्रवर्तन्ते चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहं चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहं। Welcome back everybody to our sessions on Bhaja Govindam study. You know, a few weeks ago we started the Bhaja Govindam text. We understood that this is a Prakarana Grantha. We started with the 4 Ds of Vedanta: discrimination, dispassion, desires for earning the Shama Adi Shatka Sampatti, and Mumukshutvam. It's also called as Moha Mudgara, a total of 31 verses. We learned that this is a Upadesha Vakya from Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji. And we learned that this text will teach us how to develop the dosha drushti, the defects of this world, to develop the pratipaksha bhavana. And as a byproduct, develop the vairagya that is necessary to deal with the right priorities in life with a sense of urgency. Then in the second class, we learnt about Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji's life story. How in a short span of 32 years, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji brought about the national integration, revival of the Vedic culture under very difficult times of chaos. Then we did a little bit of, vihara in Shankaracharya ji's garden of Advaita, drank a little bit of Shankara Makaranda by reciting a sample shloka from about 10 of his composition. We learned how he established the 4 matas, how he put one of his senior disciples. He had 4, Padmapadacharya, Sureshwaracharya, Hastamalakacharya, and Totakacharya, each one in one corner of India. And we learned that the main message, the truth revealed in the Upanishads of Jiva Brahma Aikya, the oneness between Jiva and Brahma, essential nature, that essence, that Ekashloki Vedanta we learned in the first few classes. In the last class, we learned the first verse of Bhaja Govindam for the whole hour. Let us chant that. You please chant on mute. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dhukrung Karane. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dhukrung Karane. I had given a few pointers to ponder upon. I hope you all had time to do that. All of the 3 lectures are loaded on the YouTube channel. Please note that that is not an excuse to miss the class when it is going on. It is only put up there for convenience so that you can catch up in case if you have to miss it. I gave you how Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji reminded us through this shloka to seek Govinda, the main purpose of our human birth, the primary goal for our human birth. See, I shared with you that in life, we have infinite goals in life. We need to make infinity as our only goal in life. Then I gave you a little bit of symbolic representation of the word dukrunkarane in this shloka, meaning all of the aparavidya, all of the secular knowledge will not help us at the time of sannihita kal. The appointed time comes, it doesn't help us. And I gave you the meaning of Govinda, the ways to seek Govinda from Bhagavad Purana, Navavidha Bhakti, how to apply that. Please listen to all of this and catch up if you have missed it. And today, we will enter this second verse. This is the meaning of the Bhaja Govindam shloka, word meaning. In the second shloka, verse, let us chant a couple of times so that the tune sets in for the class. Mudha jahihi dhanagama trishnam kurusad buddhim manasi vitrushnam. Mudha jahihi dhanagama trishnam kurusad buddhim manasi vitrushnam yallabhase nija karmopatam vittam tena vinodaya chittam. Bhaja Govindam, as I mentioned, Bhaja Govindam serves as a repetitive verse, chorus, since it is always sung in the assembly. Let me do this chanting again. Mudha jahihi dhanagama trishnam kurusad buddhim manasi vitrushnam yallabhase nija karmopatam vittam tena vinodaya chittam. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate Samprapte San Nihite Kale Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dhukrum Karane Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dhukrum Karane. First, I will give you the summary meaning of the shloka. Second, I will give you the word by word meaning. Here again, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is saying, "O fool, Mudha, give up your thirst to amass wealth, possess wealth. Devote your mind towards achieving vairagya, dispassion, and focus your thoughts on that reality, that Govinda. Be content with what comes to you as a reward of your past karma through actions performed by your own work in the past. Muda, O fool, the one who has deluded intellect, one who comes to suffer from one's own ignorance. Jahihi, Give up, abandon it. What? Dhana agama trishna. An insatiable thirst is what our Gurudev calls it. Desire for that insatiable thirst for wealth. Kuru sadbuddhim. Sadbuddhim kuru. With what? Manasi vitrishnam. You give up that desire for that wealth. You give up and act with good awareness in your mind. Do sadbuddhi. I will explain all that in detail. Yallabhase nija karmopatam. Whatever you obtain it through your own karma. Whatever you have gotten as a result of your karma, that vittam, that wealth, with that, tena, by that, vinodaya chittam, be content in your mind. Mudha jahihi. Hey Mudha, O fool, he is addressing all the Shishyas as the one who is deluded. Dhanagama trishnam jahihi. Give up that insatiable thirst for wealth. Jahihi is tyaja. Give up. Free yourself from such agitations, such cravings. Manasi vitrishnam sadbuddhim kuru. Get rid of that. With dispassion, you create thoughts of reality. One might say, it's easy for Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji to say, give up all this, but I need to put my kids through the best of colleges. When I am old, I need a surplus of funds in my 401k so that I don't have to depend on anybody, and so on and so forth. For that, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is saying, Yat nija yan nija karmopatam. What you have acquired through your karmas, that will come to you. With that wealth, be happy, be content. Tena vinodaya chittam. Be joyous in your mind. See, discontentment comes in a person who is stung by artha and kama. He or she will never be at peace. See, the first stanza of Bhaja Govindam that we just reviewed was advising us not to go for secular knowledge, apara vidya, and pursue Vedantic studies. Right? That was the first session. Catch up on that. So the first stanza is advice for those against name, fame. We will call it kirti. The second stanza that we are studying right now is for those who are running after wealth, kanchana. And the third stanza which we are going to study, if not today, next week, would be kama or kamini, pleasure. So Bhaja Govindam is a text that deals with these basic principles of Vedantic philosophy. how we need to be cautious of these three dangerous cases. That is why it is a useful guide for all of us sadhakas in translating these philosophical values and virtues into practical living. See, people may acquire wealth in the world, but they cannot buy peace and contentment. We all know that. They can do all sorts of indulgence, but they may not be satisfied at the end. These desires can only multiply and cause agitation and sorrow within. Dissatisfaction guaranteed. Hence, there is a caution by Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji against Kanchana, wealth, Kamini, woman, which we are going to study later. Like they say, wine, women, and wealth, 3 W's are the problem. Wars have been fought over them. Right? Even today that is happening. Main acquisitions, main pursuits for individuals, nations, everywhere you see that problem. Here, what Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is advising as an alternative, human beings are advised to divert their thoughts to the higher, divinity, because none of these worldly pursuits give us that permanent happiness. So this warning against wealth and woman was taken, or of the opposite sex, it is not just a woman that is used that way, was taken far too literally. And people developed a false sense of renunciation. That is not the right idea. What this does is an unintelligent abstinence from activity. That is wrong. Giving up worldly life results in stagnation. Such misinterpretation of this is inconsistent with Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji's teaching. Because his own actions show us how dynamic he was. We studied that. How he was bringing about the national integration under difficult circumstances. He showed us the path. So the word wealth here refers not only to money, but to all forms of objects of the world. So we are warned not to develop craving for that acquisition of wealth. Craving, trushna. Acquisition or possession of wealth by rightful means, dharmic way, is not prohibited in Shastra, but control over one's yearning to acquire is what is advised. Therefore, renunciation does not apply to the world of object, but one's desire to acquire them. Desire or craving creates agitations in the mind. And what happens? An agitated mind adversely affects our personality. And once the mind is agitated, our power of intellectual discrimination, viveka. Viveka will not be jagrat, will not be active. It is lost. Therefore, Upadesha from Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji here is not against wealth itself. It is not to renounce the wealth itself. It is only that insatiable thirst for wealth, Trishna, that needs to be given up. In Kathopanishad, the young boy, Nachiketa, in his answer to his teacher, Yamaraja gives him 3 boons, you pick. He's so impressed by this boy. And Nachiketa expresses that beautifully. First he says, Shobhava martyasya yadantakaitat sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejah api sarvam jivitamalpameva tavaiva vaha tava nritya gite. Then he says, he offers him so much wealth. He says, Na vittena tarpaniyo manushyaha lapsyamahe vittamadrakshma chetva jivishtamo yavadishishyasitvam varastume varaniyassa eva. See, the attachment to the property is a source of endless worry. First, there is effort to acquire the property. Years and years of tireless work. Jarayanti tejaha. What? It drains our energy. Then there is effort to preserve what we have earned. Think. First, it takes energy to acquire. Then it takes energy to preserve. We need to hire a financial advisor so that we have the right portfolio, Venkatesh ji. 40% bonds, 60% stocks, Very balanced portfolio, people say. I used to be very aggressive with the stock market in the 90s. I lost everything in the dot-com bubble burst in the 2000. Then I became more conservative. Then I lost everything in the 2008 market crash, and so on and on and on. See, there are 2 factors you can apply to that in Vedanta. Greed keeps us in the market. Fear takes you out of the market. What I'm saying here is, it takes effort to preserve what we have earned. Even in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Maslow's inverted pyramid, majority of the people are seeking what? Basic physiological needs. That comes first. Food, clothing, shelter, etc., etc. Basic. Then comes safety needs. Protecting what we have earned. Living in a gated community with a guard, security camera, safety deposit locker, etc., etc. Because there is bhaya, fear of losing what we have earned. then there is a strain of preserving what we have, because there is pain, dukkham, when it is all lost. That is why Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is saying, it is foolish to imagine that wealth will bring in happiness. In Bruhadaranyaka Upanishad, Yagnavalkya Muni, I want to give you 3 Upanishadic references for this shloka. Yagnavalkya Muni says, Pujya Gurudev also has given in this quote in the commentary. He says, O Maitreyi, I am going to split my wealth. All I have to you and Katyayini. Here 2 wives, Maitreyi and Katyayini. I am going to go to forest to move into sannyasashrama. Any other wife in the modern world would have been happy and said, thank God. See you later, or have fun in the forest, right? But Maitreyi asked the question. If this pay attention to this question, very profound. If this entire earth filled with wealth is mine, would I be immortal through that? Will it give me moksha? That is where the first quote comes. Yagnavalkya Muni says, Amrutatvasya nashasti vittena. The simple answer is no. Even if the entire earth filled with money is yours, your life will be just like that of people of means. It is not the end. Even in Taittiriya Upanishad, it says, na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena, tyage naike, amrutatva manashuhu. Not by karma, not by praja, not by people, not by knowing influential people, not by wealth. Tyage naike, only by renunciation, tyaga. Same theme from Ishavasya Upanishad. Tena tyaktena bhunjitaha magrudah kasya svidhanam. I think you get the idea. Then the answer from Maitreyi comes. Then she says, I don't want your wealth. If it doesn't give me moksha, I don't want it. Nadirna anto na madhyam va yatta vidyasya vidyate. Then do not give me this material wealth. Please give me that one. Nadirna antaha na madhyama. The one which has no beginning, the one which has no middle, the one which has no end, no adi, no anta, ananta. That wealth, give me that wealth that does not get depleted when I use it. When I use it, I don't lose it. So as sadhakas, this should be our prayer too. Happy Navaratri to everybody. On this day, when we pray to Goddess Lakshmi, for that spiritual wealth, Shama Adi Shatka Sampatti, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji says, that spiritual wealth that we need to pray, that Shama, calmness of mind, Dhamma, self-control, Uparama, self-withdrawal, Titiksha, forbearance, Shraddha, faith, Samadhana, single-pointed concentration. Because that spiritual wealth will help us to pursue our goal towards moksha, the highest goal of human existence. So in the current verse, Shankaracharya ji is reminding us the futility of accumulating material wealth. See what happens? Passion creates attachments in the mind. A mind filled with mala, impurities, vikshepa, is not suitable to contemplate on the higher. So Bhagavan is saying we need to cleanse our mind. First, from the negative byproducts such as greed, pride, jealousy, etc. When we remove the passion from the mind, we develop dispassion, vairagya, detachment. So the trishna is that insatiable thirst is to be replaced with vitrishna. No fanciful passions in the mind. When we empty that mind, there is no agitation, there is no chinta, there is no worry. When we empty our mind from all these attachments and passions, what should we fill it with? Even the Bible says, empty thyself, I shall fill thee. We meditate, we contemplate on that reality after that. Sadbuddhim kuru. Contemplate on that satvastu, that which is real, that satvastu which does not change in all three periods of time. Trikale tishtati iti sat. That alone, that does not undergo any modifications. That satvastu that is nitya, eternal. That pure consciousness, Shuddha, that non-dual Brahman, the one without the second. See, we have three types of desires in this world. Putreshana, Vitteshana, Lokeshana. That is what the Shastra says. Putreshana is like the attachment to son, my family, my wife, my relatives. We say my relative. Relative is also, they are not absolutes. That's why they are relatives. And the attachment word to the world, Vitteshana, attachment to my world, my identity, my title. Or Puja Gurudev used to call Ayya and Maya. That is the problem. So the three Eshanas need to be replaced by studying these type of Vedantic texts. By Shravana, by listening to the Vedantic text with a qualified teacher. Manana, reflecting on their meaning. And nididhyasana, contemplation on that higher reality. Eshanatrayam Parityajya Shravana Manana Nididhyasanasito Bhava. That is what Shastra says. Then the question comes about, all of this is impractical. How is one supposed to live in this world? Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji says, Yallabhase Nija Karmopatam. Whatever the wealth that comes your way as a result of your past karma, the karma phala, the fruits of your past action, the results of our prarabdha karma. Actually, I strongly recommend all of you who have not attended this class before, go through the Adhyatma Prakasha series, module number 3, that is on the YouTube channel. Go through the Karma Siddhanta. But I will briefly summarize here for everyone's benefit. See, as human beings, we came here with a defective equipment. No warranty. We cannot return it. The human mind has 3 types of problems. Impurities of the mind, vasana, our tendencies or our inherent tendencies, restlessness of the mind. You may be sitting in class, but you might be thinking somewhere else, thinking something else. And ignorance of our true nature. We do not know ourselves, our true nature. In fact, that is the reason for the other 2. So these vasanas, what do? They manifest as raga and dvesha, likes and dislikes. We like to do things, certain things. We don't like to do certain things. We like certain people. We don't like certain people. All actions or inactions are driven by raga or dvesha, in turn causing more and more vasanas. That's the cycle. Vasana, because of that, we perceive things, we respond to things. A result comes, we develop more vasanas, keeps on going. Vasana, karya, chinta. Vasana, karya, chinta. This is called the sorry go around. We have been doing this for several lives, believe it or not. So, to purify the mind, we do our karma. I will not give all the details here. You go through the module. But there are 5 broad categories of karma: kamya karma, nitya karma, kartavya karma, duties enjoined by others, samskara karma, like doing upanayanam, etc. Meaning, kamya karma, you typically, to fulfill a desire, you do an action. Putra kamesti yaga, for conceiving children. Dasharath Maharaj did that. Nitya karma, for a student, it is advised to do Gayatri Japa. For each of these, there are duties prescribed depending on the stage of life, whether we are a Gruhastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, all these duties are given. Then Kartavya karma. As parents, we have certain duties. As to the government, we have certain duties to abide by the constitution, etc. In our place of employment, we are given an RAA, roles, accountability, and authority, right? Kartavya karma, we have to do based on that. Samskara karma, for example, we do graduation ceremony, upanayanam, namakaranam, marriage, all this, so that we create the samskara vidhi. Then there is nishiddha karma, prohibited action. Stealing, prostitution, all these are no-no, right? So what is karma? Karma itself means action. So we say an individual reaps the benefit of his or her action either performed in this life or in the past life. That is why we call it Purushartha. There are 4 Purusharthas, right? When we hear the Pujari say, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Mokshartha, Palasiddhyartham, right? There are 4 Purusharthas. Dharma, doing the right action. Artha, Artha. This is the shloka about Artha. Acquiring of wealth and worldly possessions in a dharmic way. Kama, fulfillment or enjoyment of desires in a dharmic way. Note that dharma and moksha are the 2 pillars between, they are in the farther pillars. Artha and kama are kept in between that, so that we earn wealth the dharmic way. We enjoy desires through the dharmic way towards moksha. Like that you should interpret. We can do karmas by 3 methods. 3 instruments we have: Kayika karma, Vachika karma, Manasika karma. Now, after performing these actions, they give results. So this is the background. We have done some work in the past. Now it is giving results. Punya karma you will get if you have done meritorious or dharmic actions. Papa karma is something when we do wrong adharmic actions, you get bad results. Mishrita karma, an action that gives mixed results. A little bit of sukha, a little bit of dukkha. Karmas by mind, through thoughts, through deeds, through action. Right? 3 ways you can do karma. So this brings us to the cause and effect. There cannot be an effect without a cause. And the effect is none other than the cause itself in another form. If the cause is removed, none of the effect will be there. For example, if I have a seed, a tree is born. Seed is the cause, tree is the effect. Cloth is made from cotton. Cotton is the cause, cloth is the effect. Like that. So here, the play of the cause and effect is, first there must be a cause followed by an effect. Therefore, the past is the cause, present is the effect. And the present itself becomes the cause with reference to future. That is why we say we exist in the present. We are not only the effect of the past, but also the architects of our future. That is why this karma siddhanta is important in our this thing. Therefore, this law of karma plays a very important role in understanding how we can be the architects of our own future. See, the past modified in the present is future. If we know that, that teaches us the power of now. What we need to do now, right now, so that we can reap these benefits in the future if there is one. With this much intro to Karma Siddhanta, now we'll come back. What Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji in this verse is saying, Nija karmopatam vittam vinodaya chittam. How do we do that? That answer is in Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi ji's Upadesha Sara. Ishwararpitam nechaya krutam chitta shodakam mukti sadakam Ishwararpitam Nechaya Krutam Chitta Shodakam Mukti Sadakam. When we do all our karmas dedicated to the Lord, with the right attitude, with the right motive, that becomes Chitta Shodakam, purification of mind. That is the catalyst for mukti. That is what helps us as a sahakari sadhana for mukti, moksha. So now, karma is not the answer. Our actions are finite. So the results are obviously limited and finite. But the attachment created because of the karma is permanent. Very important to understand that. So the upliftment, how do we do karma? Bhagavan Ramanam Maharshi Ji says how to divinize our actions. Kartavya karma must be done dedicated to the Lord. Krishnarpanamastu, Arpita Buddhi. Performing as a worship of the Lord, Dasya Buddhi. While doing the action, we should do it as a worship of the Lord. Jana Seva, Janardana Seva. Then whatever results come out of that action, karma phala, we should accept it as prasada, prasada buddhi. While doing this, we recognize the Lord as karmadhyaksha, giver of the results, while working and recognizing him as karma phala dhata, while receiving. With that much introduction to this verse, we will chant the next verse today. Please chant with me on mute. Nari sthana bhara nabhidesham društva maga mohavesham. Nari sthana bhara nabhidesham društva maga mohavesham. Yetan mamsavad sadivikaram manasi vichintaya varam varam. Nari sthana bhara nabhidesham društva maga mohavesham. Yetan mamsavasadi manasi vichintaya varam varam. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrum karane. Nahi nahi rakshati dukrum karane. We will see the meaning in detail about that in our Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om asatoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. May all be happy, may all be healthy, may all see auspiciousness, may none suffer. Om, peace, peace, peace.